Shai, Shai, Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kodash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which you well. Of course, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, man. You brothers that sincerely do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shimon, and this week's topic is going to be entitled A Prophet First. And it's a quick show, and the title is pretty much self-explanatory. Once you cross the line, brothers, you're no longer quote-unquote cheerleaders, as we call it, or, overall cheerleader. It was just a sincere brother listening and, waiting for your opportune time to become a teacher. But once you cross that line, you're first and foremost a prophet first. And what's going into being a prophet, it goes into the labor, it goes into doing these shows, and it goes into being a living sacrifice. What does that mean? There's a lot of things that you were doing prior to this, before you crossed over to the line of the prophets, all right? Which, if you are doing this thing in truth and sincerity, you are always a prophet. But I'm just making an emphasis on making that transition from your worldly way of thinking to being in this and making this your first priority. And when you're first a prophet, everything else comes secondary. Example, today was the Sabbath. There was things that I normally would do on this particular day, before the sunset, that I had to wait. All right, I had to, I'm just using a primary example that goes into keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Whether you're a prophet or not, you have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, but going into being a prophet, it goes full scope. You have to do what you preach. All right, we preach the gospel, we preach the law, statutes, commandments. We have to keep these things. We can't be hypocritical in our teaching, and you have to make time and effort to do these shows, to do these lessons. It's mandatory. It's an optional thing. If you call yourself a prophet, you have to prophesy. All right, Jeremiah 28:8. Prophets that have been before me. Also in Jeremiah 20th chapter, it tells us that Jeremiah became heavy with forbearing, meaning he tried not to teach, but he couldn't help but teach. All right. That's how come we always say the Spirit's on me to do a show. The Spirit's not on me to do a show, because it's really the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that inspires us to do these particular lessons. And the Spirit is going to be on you heavy to go out there and teach and to do these shows during the week, all right? So you have to be a prophet first and foremost. Your occupational job in this world comes secondary. Your family, secondary. Your heart's desires, in terms of things that are temporary or temporal in this world, because our flesh is going to still lust after things that's of the flesh. It's a constant battle. That's what when you read Exodus chapter 15:3, the Most High is a man of war. He always sets everything against itself, all right? Peace and prosperity against times of adversity, or mainly what we're talking about, the flesh versus the spirit, the truth versus the worldly. These things are set one towards another. So when you come in this thing, there's still going to be that constant duality of, the flesh and the spirit. But if you're a prophet, you have to do a prophet's work. Why is that? Because you want a prophet's reward. You want to have the kingdom of heaven. And we know the kingdom of heaven comes through much trial, tribulation, and also comes through laboring. We have a penny, we have a talent, we have to flip it, we have to produce. Okay? So your first and foremost desires should be doing what a prophet does. And contrary to what a lot of teachers out there teach, all right? I'm talking about the ones that are set to deceive, all right? You have to go out there and teach. Teaching is teaching this thing on the highways and byways is a mandatory thing if you call yourself a prophet, correct? Okay. Some of the worldly desires would be to please your woman, your child, your particular family, to please the world, to get more followers. And doing these things, you might do it contrary to the scriptures. Well, that would only make you a hireling, all right? Meaning you're doing this for your own particular profit. This is not you can't use this truth for your own gain, man. All right. The only kind of gain you should be trying to get out of this thing is the kingdom of heaven and increase. And other than that, you shouldn't be trying to get any monetary shit, man, because then you truly don't care about the flock, and you are in what the scriptures call a hireling in the book of Matthew. All right. Because don't get it twisted. The false prophets out there, they're ordained of the Heavenly Father of mankind, right? They're also called shepherds, just like the righteous shepherds are called shepherds. You have the wicked shepherds that are wicked shepherds together. Who? The flock the flock of the undesirables, the 2/3 as we call them, all right? Because when you read the book of Ezekiel, it tells us specifically that the ones that follow the ways of the deceitful prophet or the false prophet, you're going to get the same judgment as him. So you have false shepherds out there to gather the flock that the Heavenly Father don't want, man. All right, so a lot of you guys that keep following these other camps and mock us and don't take heed to the words of the Heavenly Father being spoken by his prophets, starting with the elders and the brothers of Great Millstone, you've been warned. You know, there's no cloak for your sin. You've been warned. We've been told you the proper doctrines. We've been told you the proper breakdowns of these particular scriptures, and we told you guys stay away from. All right, but you're gonna let your emotions rule your judgment, and that's fine with me. I don't give a fuck. I know the elect at the end of the day, which I pray and hope I'm a part of, is gonna follow the scriptures the 100% right way. All right. Hey, so first priority, all right, is to teach. All right, and we keep stressing up. Every so week, I see brothers always putting videos up and stressing to the spirit. Teach, prophesy. That's the greatest. That's what we ought to do. If you call yourself a prophet, that's the first thing you should be doing, man. The cookouts, the gimmicks, the selling garments, all these other things have nothing to do with prophesying, man. All right, making T-shirts and making all this. First and foremost, our job is to teach. Our job is to prophesy in our worldly desires and every other desires of the flesh. All right, that doesn't contradict with the scriptures. Come secondary, man. All right, so this was a quick lesson. All right, hey man, you see how the spirit worked? Because I had something different planned in my mind where I was gonna do a little screen recording thing, but the spirit jumped on me to get this phone and put this word out, man. All right, that's the vibration Yahweh Shem Yahushua wants out. Well, that's what's gonna go out, man. All right. With that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which you well. And salutations to the hopeful elect out there, man. You brothers that sincerely do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.